Hey, everybody. Thank you for attending today's training on Medicare Center. I'd like to welcome you to what you will see when you come to MedicareCenter.com after October 1. The registration process is actually going to be quite simple. Agents will be able to come here, click on Register Now. They'll be asked to put in their first name, last name, national producer number, obviously email address, and create a password. Once they have went through those steps, they'll receive an email that requires them to confirm their account. So they'll complete that and be redirected here to log in using their national producer number and the password that they had just created on the set up a new account piece. They're going to come here, put this in, and log in. Now that the agent is logged in, you can see they'll have the ability to select their adventure. So you're going to have the option here to quote and enroll, obviously, your MAPD, PDP clients. They'll have the ability to hop on CSG and quote and compare MedSups. It's the same CSG that you're used to. So they'll have all access right here, one spot, one location. And then we'll introduce them to the new client management tool that's now going to be available. And I'm going to walk you through how this looks. It's super easy to use. As you can see, pretty clean, pretty simple. Go in, click Add New. And we're going to add Jessica Adkins, Jessica Lee Adkins right here. Phone number, zip code, you can select a status of open, applied, quoted, lost, or enrolled. And then if you need a follow-up, you can select your follow-up date here using this handy little calendar. Just select your follow-up date and add notes. Save it. And there you go. And you can see here, you have a quick look at what the status is, and if a follow-up's needed, again right there, if you click on that, it has your ability to pop open an email. Same thing with click to call feature. And what's great about this is because it's mobile responsive, or because you can use it on any device. If you're using it on your phone, you can easily click the phone number and it pops up so that you can dial out and speak with that client at any time. So we're really excited about that. That's a pretty great feature. And it's so simple that if you're in the grocery store or, Walmart, anything like that, and you run into somebody and, obviously, our interaction with people is kind of limited, but you're still going to have conversations, or you're still going to run into people somewhere. And they are going to recognize you, and they're going to say, hey, can you help me out with insurance or something like that? So that's a great way for you to add in some client or prospect information into a system where you can track them and you have it easily accessible right there on your phone. And then, when you get to the office or you get home, and you can access a desktop or a tablet, whatever you use, and you can easily pull up that information when it's time to reach back out, or when it's time to go ahead and proceed with a quote or enrollment. So that's a pretty cool feature. We're really excited about that. So here in the Learning Center, obviously we have some great resources for you. We have some sales tips, some tech guides on how to use Medicare Center, both Connecture and Sunfire. It'll walk you through some of the features that may be new or unique to that platform, such as, utilizing the blue button integration in Connecture. And then you'll, of course, text enroll, text signatures, things like that. We've also created some working remote guidance that you can utilize, as far as how to conduct compliant presentations, and just, little resources to help make this AEP, especially if it's more virtual for some of you guys based on the guidelines, then it's easier and more digestible. And all of the resources are here in one spot, which is extremely handy. Same thing with carrier guides. You don't have to hop between portals or go to the carrier's website to find this information. So we're really happy to have all of these resources in one spot. And we really believe that for, the majority of AEP, you're going to be in here using this every day, all day. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to have that learning center at your disposal. Now, let's go ahead and get into the part that you guys are most excited to see, which is going to be a quick demo of Medicare app and Medicare Link. So if you were on Connecture for the 2020 plan year, which was the original Medicare Center, you're going to click here, and that will redirect you, as you can see, over to the original Medicare Center where you would log in. And you would log in using your national producer number in the numeric format, and then, of course, NPN plus last four. So you would use the letters NPN and then the last four numeric values of your national producer number here to access the original Medicare Center. If you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out to my team. I know that that's slightly confusing, but we will help you get through that and make that transition if you do need to access any old information that existed in the 2020 version of Medicare Center. So this is the new version of Connecture that's available within Medicare Center. We're really excited about it. It is called Medicare app. You can see it's very clean. And the user interface is going to look very similar to what your clients saw on the direct-to-consumer site, which is what they saw when they went to your agent Pearl. So let's go ahead and start a new profile so that I can walk you through the process of the enrollment. Let's go ahead and get started here. You can see when there's a shared zip code, you're going to have the ability to select your county, right? So let's go ahead. Okay, now we are ready to go. Next step here is going to be to continue over to a scope, which is going to be great because now we have the option to not only email the scope, which we had that feature available last year, we also had the feature available to upload a scope if you collect a wet signature on your scope form. But now you have the ability this year to text a scope from Connecture. So that's pretty exciting. Once you select the option to text, again, it tracks all of your activity within the client profile. And so actually put my number in there and I will read to you the text message that is received by the beneficiary. It simply says, complete your scope of appointment form from Medicare app. So what happens next? Obviously, the client is going to touch the URL that came over in their text message. They are going to answer the questions, same thing as you're going to see on a regular scope, right? They enter their name and then they complete the scope. Once you receive it, it's added into the repository here and shows as a scope's been received on behalf of the client. So now we have the ability to go through and add the plans to compare, same as we did last year. So there's 2 plans available here in this market that we're using. So a great feature this year is that it actually highlights the differences in the plan. So this makes it very easy for you to walk through and say, yeah, here's what you're going to get with this plan. It really perfects the art of finding the best fit plan for your client. Another feature that I really like about Connecture this year is that they give you the option, even from the quoting piece, to go in or go backward, right, to add the prescription drugs. So this year, ConnectSure has blue button integration, which is great for any existing Medicare beneficiary because now they have the ability to send an email from within ConnectSure to connect to their mymedicare.gov account. So this is going to be great for any existing beneficiary who's on prescription drugs to automatically pull in any prescription that they're currently getting into ConnectSure automatically by following the link within the email that's deployed from this process. They connect their mymedicare.gov account and it's automatically building out what we call their medicine cabinet. Now, obviously, for any new beneficiary, the blue button integration isn't going to work. So you still have the ability to manually build out their medicine cabinet. Let's go ahead and add drug here. You can see this year it keeps up all of the options. So let's select that and we have our quantity and frequency selected. So once you've added that, it actually goes away. And then here in the corner, it shows if you're using the generic or name brand drug. So let's move forward in selecting a pharmacy. You still have the same interactive map feature here. And unlike last year, when you click the map, it actually prompts you to physically add the pharmacy. It doesn't default and assume that once you've clicked the location, that is the pharmacy that you want to select. So we've selected the pharmacy. You can also click that and change the pharmacy, or you can come up here and click the X and remove that and select a different pharmacy. So now we're going to continue and move on into the plan selection. So you can see here that you're on the MAPDs. They've got the separate MA plans, of course, your PDPs, and then there's also a quick and easy way for you to run just a quick quote on Medicare supplements that are available in that market as well. So we all know that, we want to do what's right for a beneficiary. So it really gives you an advantage where, maybe some other agents don't have the ability to do that all in one setting. So let's go ahead and add this plan, this MAPD plan. Again, it gives you the options to include any add-ons, your dental, your vision, your hearing, or a full DBH package. So how are we going to be signing this form? We're going to send it to the beneficiary to sign and submit. And this beneficiary is actually an existing member. So let's go ahead and move forward. And you can see it always prompts you to go back in case you clicked the wrong thing. So if you are a new member, then you can just click that and it takes you to the separate new member form. So a lot of this information you can see automatically populates, right? And it's extremely helpful during the enrollment process. No, there's not a separate mailing address. Yes, 52. And then of course we have the process of adding the Medicare information. And now you have, the same option as before, what the premium payment's going to be. You enter all of the checking information, banking information, or you can select to get a bill or an automatic deduction, however the carrier accepts premium payment. So now you can see here we're moving forward in the enrollment process where, the client understands. They can physically sign here, or you can send to the beneficiary, right? And you can choose to send through email or through text, or you can do both ways. You get your authorization code here, And again, where we used my cell phone number, I'm going to tell you how this works. So they actually receive a text message that says complete your enrollment from Medicare app. They go through the process of signing, just like they do, here, as if they were in person. And then they use the authorization code that you see here. They receive a separate text message that indicates that that's the authorization code that they need to use when they complete this process. So that is the new way of completing an enrollment in ConnectShare this year. So we're really happy with Medicare app and how that's going to look for you guys. Okay, so now we're at your home screen. Let's go ahead and go through Medicare Link, which is going to be the Sunfire platform. So the first thing that I want to show you is you're going to have this little prospects for the last 30 days here. You have the ability to filter that by older. Of course, you can always search by the last name as well. So you have that ability. You have your reporting capabilities here, where you can see any communication that's been sent or received, and then enrollment. So you can select that today, yesterday, last 7 days, or custom, and select, start and end dates, which is extremely helpful. Your customers, this is a really easy way to set up multiple client profiles. And you just save that. One quick tip I will give you about this process is to make sure that the phone number that you put in here is going to be the number that you plan on sending any text communication to. So that means if you're going to collect a signature on your scope or even on the application, you want to make sure that this phone number here is going to be a cell phone, because what happens is when you get to that step in the process, if you have a landline, then you're going to have to choose deploying for a signature through email, because it won't allow you to go back and edit. And that holds true with ConnectShare as well. It's kind of just one of those standard things that you better make sure that, the email address that you've used, and even the zip code aligns with everything, because it's almost hard coded in once it's in there. So you have the ability to actually disposition, which is a pretty cool feature. I really like that, once you have the client in this CRM piece of the enrollment platform, that you can actually go ahead and say, okay, this is a new client that I'm working with. And then you click save and you can see that disposition is automatically updated. So let's go ahead and move through the enrollment process with Jessica here. And you can see if I click on the 3 dots, I can edit her profile. I can start a quote. I can send her my Pearl so that she can go through and enroll on her own time. And she goes to the Pearl. She can also create her own account, add all of her drug information, things like that. And within her profile, I will actually see a code so that I can pick up where she left off in the future. So that's a really neat feature that I like this year. And of course, we can go ahead and proceed with sending a scope. So let's go ahead and send Jessica a scope. You can see here, we can email the scope, we can text, we can complete it here in person. If you have the client setting right next to you, real-time signing, or you can upload. So you have a lot of the same features on both enrollment platforms, which is extremely helpful. So let's go ahead and go through as if we are sending a text, and let's add current member. And let's go ahead and submit the text. And so you can see it's a very similar process that once a scope is sent, or even any kind of request for a signature, there's always going to be a personal code that is sent. Now, in this case, this personal code actually expires within 48 hours. So within that time frame, if the client doesn't complete the scope of appointment, then that code will actually expire and you'll be prompted through whichever notification method that you choose to receive. You can actually go into your profile and select the option to receive notifications through email, through text, and then you'll always receive notifications right here on the bell. So anyway, you'll receive this notification saying, hey, the client has not completed the scope within 48 hours. So it really prompts you to go back in and, reach out to the beneficiary and say, hey, get this, I can resend it, or here's the code, or whatever. So that's extremely helpful. Okay, so now you can see here's the personal code. You can view. It also shows you whether or not the scope's been completed. And once the beneficiary signs the scope, it will change, and it will also notify you through text, through email, or over here on your notification dashboard. So let's go ahead and I will walk you through the quoting and enrollment process. So let's go ahead and start with a quote. So we have the customer here. It's very important that you remember to change customers if you are switching, because otherwise, if you don't physically change the customer that you're working on and save that, then it will continue to add enrollments or scopes or whatever activity you're doing to that specific client. So now let's go ahead and add all of this information. So it automatically pulls you up to the quoting piece here. You can filter between plan costs, or you can display plan benefits. You can choose the time period. You can sort by monthly premium, by the company, or by estimated total cost. You also have some quick and easy filters over here. This is extremely handy. If you have a beneficiary that says, I can really only afford between, 40 and 50 bucks a month. I really like Humana. And look at that. I mean, it automatically pulls up everything that your beneficiary, your client has asked for. So that's helpful. But if you have a client that's really leaning on you to help, then you also have the ability to select those 3 plans. You can send a multi-plan quote through email, or you can do a comparison like you see here. This is very similar to what we're used to seeing. It's extremely helpful. It's also, I really like how once you've done those side-by-side comparisons, you can actually close that section. So it makes reviewing the benefits extremely easy. It's very clean. It's very easy to use. It's very easy to digest, because when you're going through all of the benefits with a beneficiary, it's obviously a lot to take in. So really kind of closing those windows and simplifying the process is extremely helpful. So we completed the census piece. Now let's go ahead and go back by clicking on your little medical briefcase here, and let's go ahead and add some drug names. So it automatically, if you see here, it automatically selected the closest big chain pharmacy. It automatically selected that as the pharmacy of my choice. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to add metformin. Same, you'll notice that keeps it close, and it automatically defaults to the most common quantity and frequency. So we'll add that medication here. And a unique feature that I really like to Sunfire is the ability to select your current plan. So we can go in here and we can actually select, well, this beneficiary was on the gold choice last year. So you can pull up last year's plan and select any new plans this year and do a side-by-side comparison. So that's also a really great feature. It's extremely helpful to your beneficiary to see, is it a good fit to just stay on the plan that they're currently in, or did their medical and financial needs change where they may need to move and enroll into another plan? So you can switch over and look at the drug cost as well. Now, let's move into the enrollment piece, just like we did for Connecture. So let's go ahead and proceed. You have the ability to go ahead and select the PCP now. We're not going to do that. You can change the language preference. You can pull up your summary of benefits at any time as well. So the next step is to go ahead and complete the eligibility piece. We're going to say, let's go ahead and use this one. Then the date of the event is going to be, so no. Payment information, you're going to select all of your options. Of course, with Humana, you have the coupon book option. So let's go ahead and select that and move forward. You can review all of the information that you submitted on behalf of the beneficiary. And of course, you have the option that the authorized representative is going to be completing the application or the enrollee. You can see here e-signature if the customer is present. I love that it gives you little tips here on how to remain compliant in collecting the signature. Of course, signature pad, which is going to be real time, customer sitting there beside of you, e-signature where they type it in. Again, they have to be right there beside of you. And then sending and collecting an e-signature, you're going to have the ability to do that either through text or through email. So phone number, you have to actually retype that, send it. And so let's go ahead and send a text here. So we'll go ahead, send the text message, it'll have the exact same verbiage that they would have in an email that they received, which is basically, you've received a notification, complete your enrollment. Here, they'll follow the link, they'll use the authorization code, and once they've completed that piece of it, then they will show back up on the dashboard here is the completed enrollments. You can see where we didn't move forward and complete that, then I have a prompt to know that there was something wrong with that enrollment. There's a reason why it was incomplete and wasn't sent to the carrier. And I love that you have the ability to take action right within Sunfire. You don't have to reach out and try to figure out why there's something missing. Like it's very clear that we're missing an e-signature right there. So that's extremely helpful. The reporting feature on that, I think, is really going to be a game changer. I also like that you're going to get notifications to let you know when a client is signing things, when things are being processed, so that you have visibility on your clients in this AEP, hopefully making it a lot easier to keep track and manage your book of business. So we're really excited to roll this out to you guys. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.